The early Roman army, before the reforms of Gaius Marius, was a very different entity compared to the professional legions that would later dominate the ancient world. It wasn't a professional force by any means. Instead, it was composed of ordinary citizens who took up arms when their city called upon them. This was a citizen militia, a group of men who were not soldiers by trade but farmers, artisans, and tradesmen. They fought not for pay, but for their city, their families, and their way of life. These men fought with a fierce sense of duty and loyalty to their city, their land, and their fellow citizens. They were driven by a deep-seated sense of honor and responsibility. Each man brought his own equipment to the battlefield. This meant that the quality and type of gear varied widely from one soldier to the next. The battlefield was a patchwork of different weapons and armor. Imagine a scene where no two soldiers looked the same, each one equipped according to his means and resources. The ranks were not uniform, but rather a chaotic mix of men with different levels of training and equipment. This lack of uniformity could lead to confusion and disorder in the heat of battle. Some men, those who were wealthy, could afford good armor and weapons. They stood out on the battlefield, their gear shining in the sun. Others, less fortunate, had little protection. They might only have a simple spear or a makeshift shield. Their vulnerability was stark and often deadly. The variety of weapons was vast: spears, swords, axes, a hodgepodge of tools that reflected the diverse backgrounds of the men who wielded them. Despite these challenges, this citizen army was remarkably successful. Their determination and bravery often made up for their lack of professional training and uniform equipment. During the early Republic, Rome was in a period of rapid expansion. They conquered their neighbors, extending their influence and control over the Italian peninsula. But as Rome grew, so did its enemies. They began to face tougher and more organized opponents who posed new challenges on the battlefield. One of the most formidable of these new enemies was Carthage. With its professional soldiers and well-organized military, Carthage represented a new kind of threat that the Roman citizen militia had never faced before. To meet these challenges, the Romans began to adapt. They started to implement more structured training and organization within their ranks, laying the groundwork for the professional army that would later emerge. These early experiences and the lessons learned from facing powerful adversaries like Carthage eventually led to significant military reforms. Figures like Gaius Marius would later transform the Roman army into a formidable professional force. The transformation from a citizen militia to a professional army was a pivotal moment in Roman history. It marked the beginning of Rome's dominance on the battlefield and its rise as a superpower in the ancient world. The success of the early citizen militia laid the foundation for the future triumphs of the Roman legions. Their legacy is a testament to the courage and resilience of ordinary citizens who rose to the challenge and fought for their city. From these humble beginnings, Rome would go on to build one of the greatest empires in history, a testament to the enduring spirit and determination of its people. The journey from a citizen militia to a professional army was a long and arduous one, but it was a journey that ultimately led to the creation of a military machine that would dominate the ancient world for centuries. The story of the early Roman army is a story of transformation, adaptation, and relentless pursuit of excellence. It is a story that continues to inspire and captivate us to this day. The early Roman army, despite its variety, had some standard equipment. This equipment was essential for the soldiers to perform their duties effectively and to maintain the discipline and order that the Roman military was known for. The standardization of equipment also helped in creating a sense of unity and identity among the soldiers, which was crucial for their morale and effectiveness in battle. The most common weapons were the spear and the sword. These weapons were not only practical but also symbolized the might and discipline of the Roman army. The spear, known as the pilum, was particularly effective in breaking enemy lines and causing chaos among the ranks. The sword, on the other hand, was used for close combat and was a symbol of the Roman soldiers' personal bravery and skill. The spear, a simple but effective weapon, was used for both thrusting and throwing. The design of the pilum allowed it to penetrate enemy shields and armor, making it a formidable weapon in the hands of a skilled soldier. The ability to throw the spear also gave the Roman soldiers a tactical advantage, allowing them to engage the enemy from a distance before closing in for hand-to-hand combat. The sword was a secondary weapon. Known as the gladius, it was short and designed for stabbing rather than slashing. This made it particularly effective in the close quarters of a melee battle, where space was limited and quick. decisive strikes were necessary. The gladius was a symbol of the Roman soldier's discipline and training, as it required precision and control to use effectively. Used at close range, it was crucial in the melee of battle. The gladius allowed Roman soldiers to fight effectively in the tight formations that were a hallmark of their tactics. In the chaos of battle, the ability to deliver quick, lethal strikes with the gladius often made the difference between victory and defeat. The gladius, a short sword, was favored by many. Shields too were essential. The Roman shield, or scutum, was large and rectangular, providing excellent protection for the soldier. It was used not only for defense, but also as a weapon, with soldiers using the edge of the shield to strike their enemies. The combination of the gladius and the scutum made the Roman soldier a formidable opponent in battle. The large rectangular scutum provided vital protection in the shield wall. The shield wall was a key tactic used by the Roman army, allowing them to create an impenetrable barrier against enemy attacks. The scutum's size and shape made it ideal for this purpose, as it could cover the soldier's entire body and be used to push back against the enemy. The discipline and training required to maintain the shield wall were a testament to the effectiveness of the Roman military system. This equipment, while effective, had limitations. The wear and tear of battle often took a toll on the soldier's gear, requiring constant maintenance and repair. The quality of the equipment also varied, with some soldiers having better gear than others. This disparity could affect the effectiveness of the unit as a whole, as soldiers with inferior equipment were more vulnerable in battle. The variety and quality made training and tactics difficult. Soldiers had to be trained to use a range of different weapons and armor, which could complicate their training and reduce their effectiveness in battle. The lack of uniformity also made it harder for units to work together as a cohesive whole, as soldiers with different equipment had different capabilities and limitations. A unit couldn't maneuver as one if its soldiers had different weapons and armor. The lack of standardization could lead to confusion and disarray on the battlefield, as soldiers struggled to coordinate their movements and tactics. This was a significant challenge for the Roman army, which relied on discipline and coordination to achieve its victories. Rome needed a more unified and professional army. The challenges posed by the lack of standardization and the varying quality of equipment led to significant reforms in the Roman military. These reforms aimed to create a more professional and cohesive army with standardized equipment and training. The result was a more effective and disciplined fighting force, capable of achieving the remarkable successes that have made the Roman army legendary in history. Enter Gaius Marius. A Roman general, he rose to prominence during the Jugurthine War. Marius saw the flaws in the Roman army. He understood that to defeat Rome's enemies, change was needed. Marius implemented a series of reforms that revolutionized the Roman army. These changes, known as the Marian reforms, transformed the Roman legions. No longer a citizen militia, the army became a professional force. The Marian reforms were wide-ranging. One of the most significant changes was the recruitment of landless citizens. Previously, only landowners could serve. This opened up the army to a new class of Romans. Marius also standardized equipment. The army would provide weapons and armor. This ensured uniformity and quality. Training became more standardized too. Soldiers drilled with the same weapons, learning the same tactics. These reforms had a profound impact. The Roman army became more disciplined, more organized. It was a force ready to face any enemy. Rome, with its new legions, was poised for greatness. Section 5. Uniformity and Training. The keys to Roman success. The standardization of equipment and training had a significant impact on Roman warfare. Uniformity was key. Legions could maneuver with precision, their movements like clockwork. Imagine a line of Roman soldiers, all equipped with the same weapons, trained in the same tactics. They move as one, a single deadly entity. This uniformity gave the Roman army a decisive advantage on the battlefield. Training was equally important. Soldiers drilled relentlessly, mastering the use of their weapons. They learned to fight as a unit, relying on each other in the heat of battle. Section 6. The gladius, Rome's new weapon of choice. The gladius, a short sword, became the standard weapon of the Roman legionary. It was a brutal weapon designed for close-quarters combat. Its short length made it ideal for thrusting, delivering quick, deadly blows. The gladius was particularly effective in the Roman formation. Soldiers standing shoulder to shoulder could thrust their swords forward, creating a wall of steel. The gladius, combined with the Roman shield wall, proved to be a formidable combination. It allowed the legions to engage and defeat enemies in close combat. Section 7. The pilum, designed to pierce shields and armor. The pilum, a heavy javelin, was another key weapon in the Roman arsenal. This weapon was not just any ordinary spear, it was meticulously crafted to serve a very specific purpose on the battlefield. The Romans, known for their strategic prowess, designed the pilum to be both a tool of destruction and a psychological weapon. It was designed to disrupt enemy formations and break through shields. When Roman soldiers hurled their pila, the enemy lines would often be thrown into chaos. The sheer force and design of the pilum meant that it could penetrate even the most robust shields, rendering them useless and leaving the enemy vulnerable. The pilum had a long iron shank, making it capable of piercing armor. This iron shank was not just for show, it was a critical component that allowed the pilum to penetrate deep into enemy defenses. The length and weight of the shank ensured that once it struck, it would be difficult to remove, often dragging down the shield or armor it had pierced. Before engaging in hand-to-hand combat, Roman legionaries would hurl a volley of pila into the enemy ranks. This initial barrage was designed to soften the enemy, breaking their lines and causing confusion. The sight of dozens of pila flying through the air was a terrifying spectacle, one that often led to panic and disarray among the opposing forces. These javelins, heavy and designed to bend on impact, would wreak havoc. The bending of the pilum upon impact was a deliberate feature. It ensured that the weapon could not be easily thrown back by the enemy, and it also made the damaged shield or armor cumbersome to handle, further hindering the enemy's ability to fight effectively. The psychological impact of the pilum was significant. The knowledge that these deadly javelins could rain down at any moment kept enemy soldiers on edge. The fear and anticipation of a pilum attack could be just as debilitating as the physical damage caused by the weapon itself. The sight of these deadly javelins raining down, piercing shields and armor, was enough to break the morale of many an enemy. The combination of physical destruction and psychological terror made the pilum an incredibly effective weapon in the Roman military arsenal. It was a testament to the ingenuity and tactical brilliance of the Roman legions, who understood that winning a battle was as much about breaking the enemy's spirit as it was about defeating them in combat. Section 8. From Republic to Empire. The legacy of the Marian reforms. The Marian reforms transformed the Roman army. They created a professional, disciplined force that was unmatched in the ancient world. These reforms played a crucial role in the rise of the Roman Empire. The legions, forged in the fires of reform, conquered vast territories. They defeated powerful enemies, securing Rome's dominance for centuries. The legacy of Marius, the reformer, lived on in the tramp of legionary boots. Section 9. Conclusion. The enduring impact of military innovation. The Marian reforms stand as a testament to the importance of military innovation. They demonstrate how changes in organization, equipment, and training can transform an army. The Roman army, once a citizen militia, became a model of military efficiency. The reforms allowed Rome to project its power across the ancient world, shaping the course of history. The lessons of the Marian reforms resonate even today. They remind us that adaptation and innovation are essential for any military force that wishes to remain victorious.